I'd like to welcome all of you back to Parliamentary Pondering. And today I have with me a very honourable member of Parliament from Spain, the Honourable Dr. Artemi Vincent Rallo Lombardo. I hope I have pronounced the name correctly, who I met at the House of Lords recently at the Institute of Cultural Diplomacy conference, where he spoke brilliantly about many subjects. He is a constitutional law professor. He was a member of the Spanish Congress of Deputies. He was a senator in the Spanish Senate. He was former regional MP. He has served in the director of Spain's Data Protection Agency, and many, many more things that he has done. A very warm welcome to you, Honorable Senor. I'd like to start off with talking about Spain. And how do you feel? What do you feel is the place of Spain within the EU and also within the world at large?
First of all, I would like to thank you very much this invitation, which will give me the opportunity to exchange my thoughts, my comments on mm, the topics you wish. About the Spanish position in the world, I would say that Spain is linked in the world with many fields. For example, first of all, Spain is a very European country,
Mhm.
very European country. We Spanish citizens are really Europeanist, are really people very engaged on Europe, on the past, the present, and the future of Europe. Europe is the house of our common values, democratic, human rights, and traditions. Even each country, if each country has had their own development, no? Then I would say that first of all, we are very European and very committed with the European Union as organization and as a political space where we hope to strengthen politically to make better things in Europe.
Mhm.
Secondly, I will appeal to our strong relationship with Latin America.
Yes.
Latin America for always, for the last 5 centuries, has been our common house too. Not just for linguistic and culture reasons. Even we have a very similar approach and tradition. From all these centuries until now, there is a really strong relationship, and Spain play I would say a role of leadership. And thirdly, let me tell you that we are a very Mediterranean country. That means that's important because Mediterranean is a special field on the origin of cultures in Europe from Greece and Roman. We have a very close feeling in all this area from Istanbul to Gibraltar here in Spain, and that makes relevant our close relationship with the Muslim and Arabic world. In fact, they were in Spain from 8 centuries,
Yeah.
and we have a good feeling and a strong tradition of friendship with many of the Arabic and Muslim countries. Of course, we are member of the NATO as European with shared common values. But I would say that today Spain is a very global country, a country just committed with democratic values, with human rights, and with international law. This is what characterize us as country. This is our strong commitment now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. I mean, seen Spain take very principled positions on Palestine, on international law, on multilateralism, along with a few other European countries. My second question is perhaps something that comes to everyone's mind. About how has Spain handled the Catalonian question, and what confidence building measures in terms of constitutional policy reforms has it done so that it gives them confidence to stay within Spain and not to leave as such?
Well, you know that for decades and centuries, Spain has not a real problem of independence inside, no?
Mm,
It's true that our country is a very plural country. It was formed in the Middle Ages with many other regions and
mm,
countries, Leon, Castilla, Aragon, and others, with many different differences of culturally, linguistic. Well, that's it's our way to be. In fact, we are in our legal framework, constitutional legal framework, established what we call a autonomous country, the country of the autonomies, uh, close to a federal system, but a very, very decentralized country in all of them, but especially in some of these regions. For example, Basque Country and Catalonia.
mm,
Both has a very strong decentralization. In the case of both, they have their own police, for
mm,
example, security. It's
mm,
a competence. They are competent for that. Even the Basque Country has their own way to collect taxes. I would say that it's one of the most decentralized countries in the world, and that explained that for many decades, all the region has been more or less comfortable with this system. Even when there was the Basque terrorist gang, you
mm.
remember, no one asked for independence then. But it's true that in 2017,
Yes.
in Catalonia, there was a trend of referendum, which goes, well, a really political and humanitarian and social problem, because it's clear that there were not everybody agree, not everybody agree with this
Mm,
referendum and with this independent position. In fact, I would say that all polls say more or less that the 50% is in favor, the 50% is against. No?
mm,
And then when that happens, it's difficult to manage that. The point is that this referendum, they tried, independentist organizations, political organizations, and social organizations tried to organize and to make possible this independency referendum in 2017. That was against law and against constitution. And well, the point is that there was two ways to manage that. One was to apply strictly law,
mm,
especially the criminal law. Criminal law established many crimes related to that, sedition and fraud and many others. And the other way was to try, or I would say, dialogue, no, and agreement. The first approach was the first one, which was applied especially by the right government until 2018. The right government was agree with this position. It's true that there was many judicial procedures, and when they finished these procedures, many of the political leaders of the independency were sentenced to many years of prison, many years of prison. But not only the 20 or 30 main political leaders, even there were more or less 500 persons involved in other level of attitudes and were even sentenced for other reasons, but people who just opened schools for voting when the referendum happened. And then when the progressive government led by Pedro Sanchez arrived to the government, he decided to start another way to manage the situation. And this another way, I would summarize it in two words: dialogue and
Yeah.
agreement. And how do you translate that? How was the way? The way was, first of all, adopting many pardons to political leaders who were in prison for 3 or 4 years. Secondly, was to agree to adopt an amnesty law, not peaceful. Both decisions were not shared by right and far right parties, but they were in favor. All the other parties were in favor. But this was adopted, pardon and amnesty. And finally, there were other political agreements, like to spread the use of Catalan in many fields, or the trend to change the financial system for Catalonia. That it has not been adopted for the moment, but it is an agreement. And summarizing all that make possible that now there is not a strong position in favor of independence. Polls say that no more than 35% it will be in favor today. And anyway, no one of the political parties which supported independence years ago now are with this flag in the political field.
So a successful conclusion, I suppose.
Well, we will see. It's not easy.
Time will tell.
It's in the political field, but for the moment, the main goal of the amnesty and pardons were to recover the normalization, the
Fair enough.
social, political, and institutional normalization. And that's clear that has been happening.
Achieved. Good, great. I know that one of your subjects that you work really quite a lot on is the disinformation in elections, and the reforms that you personally have been working on. I think that'd be very useful for everyone in the world, north, south. What kind of reforms are you working on for disinformation?
Well, this is a main topic that
Yes.
me and I think everybody, but me especially, I am really concerned about this topic in my, I would say, third conditions. Yeah, you have mentioned the fact that I am constitutional law professor,
Yes.
and then and as national MP, but even as member of the Parliamentary Assembly of the OSCE, the Organization for the Security and Cooperation in Europe.
Of course.
I remember, and I can check and assess how many democracies are being threatened by this information. I had the opportunity some months ago to survey elections in Moldavia, for example. And there was a really strong strategy, disinformation strategy against the electoral process. Before that, in Romania,
Yes.
it was annulled by the Constitutional Court, the presidential election 1 year ago, more or less, because of the influence, the ingerence of the disinformation coming from foreign countries.
Yes.
Yeah. And there are other examples, the Brexit in London, American elections, even in Catalonia.
Mm.
As I said before, there were really examples of disinformation during the electoral procedures. But not only that, even during the political normal life, all of us, we are involved of fake news.
Yes.
Fake news are disinformation, absolutely, especially on the networks. And how we have to manage that? Well, it's not easy, but there are many strategies or many steps, I would say, until now. In the European Union has adopted
Mm.
uh, many regulations and rules to fight against that. But it's not easy because it's a phenomenon from outside.
Yes.
Then this is a big challenge. But all of us, we have to work in any way we can. In Spain, we are now working in new rules on the right to which regulate a little bit more the freedom of speech on the internet, no?
Mm.
Not to reduce or to go against freedom of speech, of course. Not in favor of censorship, not at all. Always in favor of democracy, but trying to avoid these horrible effects of the fake news and disinformation against the best democratic culture that we need for managing that.
Yeah. So I suppose that leads me to the next question. I mean, we need protection of data, privacy, and voter profiling, controls and strengthening GDPR enforcement in political campaigning, restrictive, abusive micro-targeting, and voter profiling, etc. And so that leads me to your next subject, which I know that you're very keen on, is privacy data protection. But what are the specific reforms that you are working on within that we can all sort of learn from?
Well, privacy and data protection on the internet is I don't know to see if the one of the or the main topic in our
Mm.
time in this age,
Yes.
on the age of the internet. I had the privilege to be, as you said, head or chair of the Spanish
Mm.
Agency for Data Protection from 2007 to 2011. And this time, it started to be really a main concern. But now we are really involved in many threats coming from the internet, and it would be easy to talk about many of them, but just talk about artificial intelligence or
Yes.
minors are two main points. We are now on the debate on the global debate on the control on the for children on the
Yes.
internet. I think it's even today the President Macron
Mm.
is trying to adopt a new law for establishing the prohibition of minors of 15 years on social networks on the internet. New Zealand, I think, adopted
Australia.
Australia adopted a law. Well, there is a clear consensus, it's a rising consensus, then we have to react. And we have to react in a very clear way to protect minors. And we in the parliament, in our parliament, the Congress of Deputies, we are working in rules on that, um, to protect children and minors. But it's true that we have a problem that goes farther than minors.
Of course.
Artificial intelligence is a main topic, and we have to work in the global field, because the problem came from the global field. In fact, in these days, the European Union is debating about the possibility to sanction, I think, X for how manage artificial intelligence, and the possibility to use it on sexual activities. And that and what happens is that this is all these tools are global, and we need global governance to
Mhm.
manage all that, and a strong commitment of the industry to avoid all these kind of threats. This is the main challenge.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to thank you. I mean, there's so many issues that we've raised, and that brings me to my last conclusion, which is that really wherever we are, whether we're in the House of Lords or we're in Spain or in Pakistan or wherever we have certain common causes in this current world order or disorder, whichever one you want to call it. And together, in terms of model legislation, we really need to come together and put our minds to it and fix things as much as possible, because the threats are common, and politicians wherever we are, parliamentarians wherever we are, we have similar causes. So I'd like to thank you, Senor, once again for being on Parliamentary Ponderings, and I look forward to seeing you in the near future, perhaps again in the House of Lords or elsewhere. Thank you so much. Very kind of
Oh,
you.
thank you very much. It has been a pleasure, and of course, I hope to see you in the future, maybe in Spain, in the Congress of Deputies.
Absolutely. Look forward to that. And you in Pakistan. Thank you. Take care. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Bye.